inspecting you, investigating you, because you are on. He is making sure that you are not a threat to him or his family. So in this case, he's showing you a kindness by healing you, but also inspecting you, investigating you by asking you questions. And if you're honest, he'll believe you. If you're not, or if you try to dodge or invade, he will know. So meet Lee Everett, who is a history teacher in the state of Georgia, who is in the city of Atlanta, where his wife was murdered, and the senator, presumably by him, which is why he was arrested, because he is the main prime suspect of the crime. But I personally believe it's the zombies. The zombies broke in, killed the wife, killed the actually killed his cheating wife and the senator. And I don't actually believe it was Lee Everton, but that's me. Alright, let's get on to our lost souls. The sheriff. Is it the sheriff blabbing on and talking and not looking left and right? He caused him to not see the walking zombie on the highway, which should be walking on the highway anyway. But I suppose this is a good thing, because this is what led you to Clementine, which so thank him for this mess up, eh?
Holy shit! Get away from me! Where are you? Shit! Don't make me do this!
After dealing with your first lost soul, you then run into Clementine, or figure, who is on the hillside, who's looking down. And after spotting her, you actually tend to follow her way to her home, because guess what? They said the undeads started coming out from nowhere, and if you didn't see her, you could have went a different direction, then got caught and got killed, because the undead can actually smell the blood. So after escaping the undead, which I counted between 14 and 18, or 11 and 18 at any given time, besides that last bit there. And with the sound of gunfire drawing them off, which actually saved your ass twice now. Well, you've been saved twice now, so yeah. After entering Clementine's house, or Clemmy's house, as I like to call her, you answer an answering machine which has the parents on, which are directing the message towards Sandra, which is the babysitter of Clementine. And the parents of Clementine happens to be Diana and Ed, who, funny enough, they have no last name, but there was a rumour going about their name was called Crawford. The last name is called Clementine Crawford, but that's just a rumour that we know of. And Ed is a engineer, with her father being an engineer and her mother being a doctor. And being in Savannah at the time of this incident, they were sadly taken. And this is the first time we run into Clementine's name, or well, after getting in contact with Clementine through a walkie-talkie, which we have to find inside the drawer, we then get attacked by the babysitter, Sandra. who I don't know where it came from, because in order to get there, we had to get past a bloody puddle, might I mention, which she did not slip, but I did slip, because I don't know why, and I whacked my head. Wow, okay. And this is when we would have to deal with the babysitter, which after struggling for a while, Clementine happens to come down and help, and this is the first time where we formed a bond between Lee and Clementine, with Clementine saving him by handing him a weapon and Lee using it for self-defense purpose. 3 whacks would do, not anymore, and it's 3 whacks would do, so and this is where we tend to find out that she was in a treehouse for the past 2 nights with barely any food or water, I could imagine. And this kind of reminds me of one of the later episodes where you make yourself in the house and you got a starving and dehydration kid who happened to turn to a zombie in the attic in one of the later episodes. There are 2 options to go about this. You can go during the night or you can go during the day when the sun's up. My opinion is during the day, because zombies, they are slow, but they're more dangerous at night as you won't be able to see them properly. After leaving Clementine's home, you then get to choose to decide with her. This actually helps the bonding process. And after this way, you would run into Chet and Sean Green, who happen to be neighbours on a farm, not much of a distance from apart. And this would be one of the options where you would run into them and help them. If you were to go at night time, which we'll get to in a second. After helping them, why, Chet was a lookout, which in my personal opinion we did not need a lookout, we could just see or hear good enough. But Chet was just a lazy ass guy back then, I would say.
Just some guy?
And that's our escape during the day. And if you were to go at night time, which in my opinion would be a stupid time for these zombies anyway, and going through the night time, you would run into Officer Andrew Mitchell, I believe, and Sean Green. In my opinion, I believe the officer here is kind of stupid, or maybe he's in shock, because maybe he doesn't understand the undead or the dead yet, or maybe he thinks he's bitten, which he didn't mention. So I just believe he's in shock at this point, dealing shooting the undead and then coming back. But you know, these are people who are hiding, there's a difference. We then make our way to Sean's father's farm, Herschel Green Farm, which is not as big as the Walking Dead TV show, but still. This is if you were to go a nighttime option. Compared to the daytime option, which we still wouldn't know what would have happened to the officer. Maybe he would have got out in time, or maybe he would have got stuck by the barricade of the fan and died. But we will never know, will we now? In the farm, you tend to find or near the door at this pit. You, investigating you, because you are on, he is making sure that you are not a threat to him or his family. So in this case he's showing you a kindness by healing you, but also inspecting you, investigating you by asking you questions. And if you're honest, he'll believe you. If you're not, or if you try to dodge or evade, he will know. After a quick fix up, we then sleep in the barn with the hay and the manure, the horse plops, in other words, or Clemmy's word, where they plop. And nights out.
We better get going, or we won't hear the end of it. That's my boy, Ken Jr. How you doing, Doug?
Good. I'm gonna drive the tractor. I'm the foreman. Lift with your back, Sean.
We better get going.
And you then meet his his family, which is Katja McCormick, and Dara McCormick. And Duck is a little special, shall we say. He has a good heart, but he's a little special. And his wife, which is Katja, is a veterinarian for horses, animals, etc. While Kenny is a commercial fisherman who catches fishes
What's the girl's name?
while working. We also tend to find out that this would be the first time that Duck Junior was almost turned or bitten or kidnapped, as he said, but he said it wasn't kidnapping, it was something else. So this would be the second time he almost got bitten and turned into it.
Get back on down the boat. I'm a commercial fisherman, catching mackerel, dolphin, whatever's biting and paying. Katya wouldn't be wild about it, but the boat's not that bad.
I'm gonna drive the tractor.
When we enter the backyard, we see Duck on the tractor, which is never a good idea. Sean should have knew better than to let him be on there, especially while he's in front of it. Seriously, Sean, you should know better than this. I know you wanna, keep him happy, keep him busy, but not this way, dude. Not this way. So after requesting some help, or offering some help, that is, you get a talk in with Sean, who tells you stories too about what he had to go through, about how kids who were turned were just boom, out of existence, no soul, just shot, which isn't very hard to believe, but it is very saddening. That's enough chit chat with Sean, and we'll make our way back to the barn and find out what Herschel wants. Herschel's just clearing out the hay and whatnot for his horses and cows, and we find out that he's still investigating me, which is a good quality, but you don't want it going too far. But you are on his land, so you get what you get. He showed you hospitality, and you must show some trust in return. After hearing some commotion, because of course Dark, our special Dark, decided to do the tractor, which is such a good time, isn't it? And regardless of which one you choose to do, the outcome is all the same. Duck will always live, Sean will always die. But you can change the outcome of getting Kenny to be on your side by choosing Duck, or get him against you in a way, because you have to do about 3 or 4 options to get him to side 100% support you through the series. So, well, This is then which would cause an outburst for Herschel, because he just lost his son and Kenny didn't. Kenny saved his son and ran away like a coward. But he's still in shock, he's still new to this, so you can't exactly blame him, but in the long run, that quality is going to get you killed, I'm just saying. Unless you speed up past that quality, so... Now, if you were to go to the other route, which would save Duck, it's still, again, like the same. Like I said, the outcome is that Sean will hate you and Kenny will support you if you went for Duck. But this is one of many times he will support you. You need to get his support about 4 or 5 times. So after running out of fuel and making your way towards your parents' store, which is one of where you've been planning on going anyway, to meet your parents and brother in hopes of finding them alive. But in this case, you then find out that it's the undead roaming around, so not a single soul in life in sight. And this is where Duck would again, for the second time, or well, third time actually, he would almost die or get bitten in this case, and our saviour, Carly, who also her last name is unknown for unknown reasons. Not everyone has a last name in games. Here we have a group that we encountered. Carly, Larry, Doug. For Larry, we got Larry A. Williams. We got Lily Williams. We got Lily Williams. We got Carly, unknown name for unknown reasons, and we got Glenn Reehey, which is also from the Walking Dead TV show. And here's Clem. I mean, I would have just went with Clem just to make sure, double sure, to get it out of the way. But this is a group discussion, 2 groups, and Lily is, shall we say, a retired military officer. Larry is a retired army officer. Lily is a formal officer, army officer, and that is until I'm gonna say she deserted her squad. But you need the traits of an officer or an army at your disposal, because it's one of the things you would need in a survival apocalypse, because they would know all the ins and outs and tactics of what to do as a security of a group. Larry is a very self-protective of his daughter and anyone that he cares about. So, not very good in a way, because he goes against the group, so there's always going to be arguments between. This would also be one of the supporting factors. This would be one of the supporting factors for Kenny if you were to support him, or if you were to go against him. I always supported him in this case. I mean, he doesn't own the store, we just found him here. They haven't even secured the place, and they think they have the right to chuck out those who are unchecked. No thank you, Larry. And this is where a zombie has found its way in the bathroom. As I said, it's unsecure. You think they've been here for days, but they wasn't. So we had to go and save Clemmy, which is one of the perks of connecting together between Lee and Clem. Which I, to be honest, actually felt a connection between them both at the very beginning of the game. So oh, I also forgot to mention that Carly is a reporter who also knows to handle her guns, which is a good trait and perk that you would want to keep around. Thanks to the disturbance. Thanks to the disturbance of the toilet and the zombie and the undead, and Clem really wanted to go to the toilet, and she couldn't wait 5 minutes. She then decided, well, it stopped the heated arguments, which is a good thing in the sense it stopped the zombies from outside bashing the windows, but it's also got her in trouble because she could have been bitten. Okay, we don't want that happening. Okay. And here comes Carly. Carly is a very good trait. You really do want to keep her. And one of Larry's favourite traits is that he can never trust anyone except for his own family, and he also has heart problems, which also doesn't help when he's always angry and upset at everyone. So he's pretty much gonna live a short life. Other than the undead, that is. After being together for a while, we tend to be inseparable, which I would get because they have saved each other's life a number of times, which would get a person close to each other, especially in apocalypse. And they then to get comfortable and speak to each other about their inner selves and help each other. However little help it helps, but that's that and heavy desk, so one of the hardcore heavy ones. After Clemmy clumsily hurts her finger in the drawer, which yes, that does hurt when you do it that way. If you ever have a down in the doorway, oh god, you don't want to imagine what it feels like when you get your finger stuck in the doorway and the door closes on it. It hangs off a little bit, but it also depends what door you got. Okay, so but this is a drawer, so it isn't as much. It don't look that bad. It's mostly just blood, and it's just like a small sliver line in this case for Clem. A bandage will do just fine in this case, so what we always have to be sure, so just make sure there's no splinters stuck inside there, so after finding the photo and ripping yourself out of it, you tend to hide the evidence so that you don't want to know about it, which can be good and bad in most cases, depending on what you're trying to hide. But our reporter, Carly, who already knows all this, seeing how she's a journalist, there's a difference between a reporter and a journalist, but she goes out there and gets the information, which is why she's a good one. But she's also got a good moral compass, so she's also a good person you would want to keep around. Oh, did I forget to mention Doug? Doug tobacco, which worked as a ITician. He was a TI, so he's good with computers and screens and electronics, etc., which is a really handy skill. But she's also an investigation type, so if a crime were to go down, she would look at it as an objective way. You can also trust her. You can, right off the bat, you can tell who to trust and who not to trust. So
Leave?
this would be where you would find your dad's crane. He would use it to walk, and this would be where the bodies were, your Mr. and Mrs. Everett, who were last seen in this very back office. But sadly, they were disposed of and taken out of the building for security reasons. But it's still the right thing to do in this case. You know, for a reporter who does her homework, she sure doesn't know how to look for evidence of needing batteries for radios, which is really weird. I find it extremely weird in this case. And, you know, we then make our way outside the pharmacy to try and cause a distraction for the zombies so we can make our way. One of the usefulness of having someone who knows their TI technician skills is they know how to rework, revamp such controllers and etc. You know, I'm not that big on electronics. I don't know that much about it, but I know they can rewire stuff. This would then cause a distraction, but you know, still not good enough. We need to break the glass because that's how much sound is drawing away. This would be the bit area where he would then, well, you would basically lie about it, which I would just have told them the truth because they don't know anything about your history yet, do they? About who you are, what you've done, but you can never be too careful. But in this case, I would have just said, that's my brother over there, under that pole. He possibly had the keys. But nada. Since we don't have the combination for the lock, we can't really go at this point, but in the meantime, Glenn's in trouble, so we're gonna sneak out the back entrance and try and save him with Carly and Doug. I don't think Doug's coming with us, is he? Okay, we are now at the car park of the hotel, which we will in the future own to look after. Saving Glenn while pointing a gun at him. Nice. Well, at least he knows how to put it down. Right, next step, we leave, but I'm sorry, we can't. Glenn would save anyone if he could. He's the hero type, but also the type that would die because sometimes, at least he thinks plans out, but he got caught. You live, you learn, you make mistakes, you die. Or you make mistakes and live on. After taking out the undead, which are guarding the place with ease, might I add, feels really easy and nice to go about it this way. If this was me, I would have just left her alone after finding out she was bitten, but seeing how Glenn probably wouldn't have left, you would have to stay here and deal with it. Because otherwise Glenn will get in trouble, and then, then it goes back to you as a group. But overall, there's two choices you can do here. You can cause a huge havoc mess, or you can just hand over the gun and get it back, but since it's already happened, I would have just handed her the gun and stayed back and picked it up. But if it was avoidable, I would have.
See what hell is like, and it's coming back as one of those things. Shoot her. You're insane. Just take this thing. Thank you so much. I know how terrible this is.
We can't go yet.
What? Why not? Because somebody needs to. To go on.
Now, if you try going about this the other way, you would then cause havoc. Because guess what? The one who's bitten and wants to kill himself has nothing to lose, which then causes the most havoc of them all.
You have a boyfriend?
No, I don't want that. It's not Christian. Please, just leave me. Please go.
Come with us. We'll find you some help.
You have a gun.
So,
Borrow it.
what do you mean, borrow?
Give it to me. I can just, end this, and then there's no problem.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Please. I don't want to be one of them. Stay.
We can't let you do that to yourself.
And do it for me.
We need to get going.
Give it to me, please.
This is crazy.
Please, step back.
It's just 2 seconds, just one more, and I can be with my family, and it'll all be fine.
Yes.
Back up, please.
Whoa, take it easy. We want to help.
I can't.
Miss, just relax now. You need to think this through. We'll find you a doctor. It'll be okay. Let's all just... No! No!
So, after arriving back from the hotel and going back to Lee Everett's family drugstore, which each family basically owns, we are still on the verge of looking for the pills for Larry, which I don't think we should help Larry anyway, because he is a bit of a asshat, if you get my meaning. And now we're going to move on. So we got our best man on the job, Doug, who is a TI, so he's an expert in technology, controls, anything electronical, I suppose. And since we got him on hand, we can get the TV, we give him the remote, we turn it up, but even then it's still not loud enough. seeing how the only way to get through the bloody gate is to break the lock, which I don't know why, because it went through the back entrance. Now we gotta break the lock to the gate at the front gate of the drugstore, because guess what, we couldn't go through the back, which I don't understand, but we did go to the back entrance to go to the hotel, didn't we, to find Glenn. So we're gonna have to break the lock with the hat and make a way out, and well, we're gonna break the window with a brick, which is smart, but I still think we should have tied the gate with shoelaces, which is possible. Like if you took your shoelaces off of both of your shoes, you could easy lock that gate and keep the zombies out, and they only be coming through the window. But in this case, we don't have that choice. We have the choice of be attacked or be attacked. So this is where we stand. So as we venture outwards, we run into our brother, who could be Bud, but there's no real name for him, so we're just gonna call him his brother for now. And I don't know about you, but I would never be this calm to actually talk to the undead, just like this, with the undead being literally like 20 feet away from you. Even if they are distracted, it's still a giant risk. So I guess in this case he doesn't really care about the undead at this moment. Sadly, we have to kill him. I mean, we could have left him there, but that being immoral, and you don't want to see your sibling to be stuck there and pinned down as undead, so it's a mercy kill. Even though it took 3 hits, which is, I mean, it's possible that the emotions were high, so this caused him to miss. And then, you know, after killing the undead brother, we then grab the keys to the drugstore, where we make our way for the pills. So we make our way back to the back store or the back room in this case, of the drugstore to get the pills, and I don't know why we should be helping Larry, he's an asshat, but also for Lee Everett to not to know that there's an alarm in the back is kind of dumb. I mean, he should have knew better than this. When's the last time he came back home? It must have been years for him to... Now, since the alarm has been pulled, we got good people on the door. I mean, I don't see Larry or his daughter, I forgot her name now. But basically we got Glenn, Carly, Doug and Lee on the door. Now, this wouldn't be happening if we locked the gate with shoelaces. You wouldn't think it'd do much, but shoelaces does keep the gate locked. I know this for a fact. And with our little hero coming along the way, our little Clemmy hero, who brings us the cane of the father, who does help lock the door. It keeps the door barricaded for a short amount of time, but it would not hold that long unless you got a few other things to hold the cane to the door with the handles. And this would be the part in where you got a choice out of saving Carly, the reporter, who has a gun skills, or Doug, who has TI skills, electronical skills. Now, regardless of what decisions you make between them both, Carly in the future will help you with the guns, gunslinging, gunshots, and Doug will help you with the traps on your new home. When you're in the hotel, he sets up traps and such. But in this case, I chose Carly, and we're going to move on to Carly. As horrible as that was, it had to be done. You can only choose both of them. Even if you wanted to save both of them, you can only choose one. I mean, what choices could you do in that instance? And Clem, I mean, am I the only gardener looking after Clem? Because it seems like I'm the only one looking out for her at this point. This is Larry, the asshat who never wanna trust. He comes from a military background and he thinks once you're a criminal, you're always a criminal. So you never want to trust someone like him. So you want to yeet him out of existence or get far away from him. But out of Larry and his daughter, Larry is the one with the good heart compared to his daughter. His daughter is ruthless. I'm telling you, she has no heart. You don't want to meet her. You don't want to. I mean, she could have became ruthless because of her father dying in the future. That is, which we'll get to. Home sweet home. So we are now at our new home, the hotel, which is a fixer-upper. I mean, we could do a lot here. All we gotta do is barricades off the windows, the gate, maybe go onto the upper floors and take out the staircases and put a rope down. That'd be one way to keep the place safe, away from the dead, that is. And in this case, Doug. I mean, I wish you could save them both, but you can't, okay, which is annoying. I wish we had a third option of locking the gate with string or some sort of thing before we axe the lock. By the way, if you haven't noticed, Doug and Carly pretty much liked each other. I guess it comes into the way where they saved each other, so they kind of have a connection to each other, which is not bad. I mean, it happens when you save one another. They tend to be. So, what is the end result of episode 1? Basically, you've got Lee, the hero, who formed a connection with Clementine, who is the. So, what's the end result of episode 1? We got Mr. Lee, who is now the guardian of Clementine, which they formed a connection at the very beginning, from Clementine saving him, and then Mr. Lee saving Clementine a number of times. So, two good people with good hearts, with the end results for these two. And we got Glenn. We all know about Glenn. We've all seen Walking the Dead TV show. Glenn's a good guy. He's there, and he has to, make his way to the city of. We got Kenny, who is a good guy. He is in the first episode, but he tends to, I won't spoil it in case you haven't seen it. So Kenny's a good guy until dun, you know what. And we got his family, Duck and Katja, and they're both good people, but Katja ends up losing it when she loses a kid, which is no surprise in the apocalypse. We got Carly, who is a good shot, good heart, good people, but sometimes being too good can get you killed. And we got Lily, who happens to be, ruthless. Not at this point, but in the meantime, she's actually a really good person, as long as her father's there to help her. But when she loses her father, she ends up losing it and going off alone. But you can try and keep her, but she would also still go. But she also has problems with Kenny and basically everyone of the group. So like father, like daughter, like father, in a way. And we got the asshat, Larry. Regardless of how you feel about him, he's an asshat. I don't care if he thinks... but at least he has high morale. At least he has morals. At least Larry has morals in, taking out the bad people, or he thinks it's bad. But he has trust issues, and he's hostile towards anyone who tries to get close to his daughter. So he's very protective at the same time. So you can't blame him. For Dog's a really good guy, but he's very soft. He may be very smart, but he's soft in the sense he can't handle certain things, but he's there for you if you need him. That is, if he's there to be there with you. Other than that, so this is our new home, the hotel, which we can, fix it up. We can fix it real good. Like I said earlier, we can just tear down the stairs, build a ramp or a rope, something to get down with ease, and bring food. We're gonna have to scavenge around the way, set up some traps, and maybe set a bell so we can trap the zombies and nail them in the head. Other than that, we can't do much. It won't do much anyway. And that's that for the end result of episode 1. Keep in touch for episode 2.